Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today accused Iran's government of, quote, brazenly lying about its past nuclear weapons ambitions. Speaking in Tel Aviv today, Netanyahu said recovered documents prove that Tehran did have a secret nuclear weapons program before it signed the Iran nuclear deal in 2015. He also claimed that Iran's government is continuing to pursue nuclear weapons development, and he urged President Trump to pull the U.S. out of the deal before the upcoming May 12th deadline.
So this is a terrible deal. It should never have been concluded. And in a few days' time, President Trump will make his decision on what to do with the nuclear deal. I'm sure he'll do the right thing. The right thing for the United States, the right thing for Israel, and the right thing for the peace of the world.
Minutes later, Mr. Trump held a joint news conference alongside Nigeria's president. Mr. Trump, who spoke with Netanyahu by phone last night, added that today's presentation only added to his own skepticism of the Iran deal.
I'm not telling you what I'm doing, but a lot of people think they know. And on or before the 12th, we'll make a decision. That doesn't mean we won't negotiate a real agreement. I think, if anything, what's happening today and what's happened over the last little while and what we've learned has really shown that I've been 100% right.
Iranian officials denounced Netanyahu, and a state-run news agency in Iran said he is, quote, famous for ridiculous shows. For more on all this, William Brangham is back.
So does Israel's presentation today add to our understanding of Iran's nuclear ambitions? And what does this mean for the Iran deal going forward? For that, I'm joined now by physicist and former arms control inspector David Albright. He's currently president of the Institute for Science and International Security. Welcome back to the NewsHour.
Good to be here.
So that was quite a presentation that Netanyahu put on today. The Israelis allegedly got into this secret building in Tehran and got out tens of thousands of documents and files pertaining to Iran's older nuclear program. First off, do you believe that this cache that they have is real? And if so, what does this tell us? How big a deal is this?
Well, it's hard to know. I mean, is it real? I mean, the Israelis make it clear that the U.S. will vouch for it. The U.S. has the complete set. So I would start by assuming it is real, and the Israelis are quite capable of getting into Tehran. It's pretty remarkable what they did to get into a warehouse and remove that much information and get it out of Iran. So it's quite an intelligence coup. And Israelis make it clear, it's a huge amount of information. It surprised them how wide and deep the Iranian nuclear weapons program, just how many things they didn't know about. I mean, is a constant message today from the Israelis. So, and they've only begun the assessment. I mean, they obtained these documents, they said, several weeks ago.
Some people have been pointing out today that some of the details that Netanyahu addressed are not necessarily new. The scientist involved, the name of this original program, that we knew a lot of this information already. Republican Senator Bob Corker today, who himself is a strong critic of Iran and the Iran nuclear deal, said there's nothing really new here. Do you think that there is something new?
Yeah, well, there isn't. There's a lot of new information. Now, the Israelis revealed several pots of information, one of which is the archive itself is of the pre-2003 nuclear weapons program, which included instructions to archive it, write down everything you've learned, and then write down what you didn't learn and what we need to work on in the future, in a sense, to fill the gaps in. And the Israelis said when they looked out in their information, they saw that those programs actually did exist in Iran. They also said that since the Iran deal was developed or finalized, that Iran has moved the archives, it's tending to the archives, it's under a stewardship program, and so it's a very valuable collection. And the Israelis would say, why would they go to that trouble if they don't intend to use it in the future, at least to maintain an option to use it in the future?
But is simply hoarding documents that pertain to your older nuclear program in itself a violation of the Iran deal?
I think lawyers are going to have to argue that. My experience is involved in the uncovering of other nuclear weapons programs, is the hoarding of documents to this extent would essentially say to you that they're hiding a nuclear weapons
Saving
program.
them for another day.
And saving them for another day. If we looked at the South African program and they had done such a thing when they got rid of their nuclear weapons, or if Libya had done the same thing when they got rid of their nuclear weapons program, people would have screamed bloody murder.
Some people have said today that we knew all along, even though Iran denied it, that they had a nuclear program going before, and that the whole point of the Iran nuclear deal was to curtail those ambitions and to put in strict oversight so that they wouldn't expand it. And so could you read this revelation today as further reasons to keep the deal intact, which is the opposite of what the Israelis are arguing?
Yeah, no, I think you can. I mean, you can argue that this is now the chance to really nail Iran on its violations of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and to get them to reveal the program, get rid of it, and allow long-term monitoring of the facilities and people that were involved in the program. So you can, and having the nuclear deal in place is good. But on the other hand, because this archive seems to be kept to use in the future, it actually is a little chilling about the sunsets that we face in the Iran nuclear deal. They look a little more deadly.
This is the parts of the deal that will disappear and relieve Iran of some of the strict oversight in coming years.
That's right.
The timing of this also seems important. In about 10 days, President Trump has to certify whether the Iranians have been living up to their end of the bargain. Clearly it seems that Netanyahu, who cannot stand this deal, would like the president to be swayed by this. Do you think this is going to work?
If this audience essentially was won for Netanyahu, I think he's trying to convince Iran to walk away from the deal and hand him a more substantive nuclear reason to do so. So I think whether he succeeds in that, I don't know. I mean, President Trump has also said that he's open to fix the deal, and his negotiators are working, probably as we speak, to fix the deal as he's outlined. And this revelation by Israel today does not eliminate the fixes that can be done. I would argue it could strengthen the ability to fix this deal. But again, we'll have to see.
David Albright, thank you very much.
Thank you.